Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Every Other Day vlog with Andy with Be Libre. I finally got a green screen. Woo! Now we just have to install it and prepare it. I'm using the OBS open source recording software, and that's going to allow me to put something cool in the background with the green screen. I think I'm going to want to do the Bitcoin network. There's this cool website. I don't know if it's a website or an application on a website that allows you to see the Bitcoin node number in real time, and it looks like this cool web of all these connections between nodes, Bitcoin nodes to be exact. Yeah, I think that'll be a cool, that'll be in the spirit of Bitcoin, and that's what this channel seems to be most about. That's what we seem to be most talking about. So yeah, let's do that. We'll put that on the green screen and it'll look great. So housekeeping aside, yeah, it's been 4 months. So going back to housekeeping, it's been about 4 months since we've started this vlog, and we finally got a little bit more production quality coming, hopefully the next time we do a video. Yeah, it's finally here. We just had to wait for the green screen. Now that it's here, we've got much higher quality for videos. So yeah, okay. As far as today's video, we're going to talk about cost of consensus. Cost of consensus, or COC for short, is a term that I'm coining that determines how efficient a network, a cryptocurrency network is. And so this term refers to any, I guess, fledgling blockchain that runs on a decentralized cryptocurrency that is hoping to get basically a functioning blockchain that can function in a decentralized fashion. And what that looks like most commonly referred to, or at least the standard that we refer to the most for a functioning decentralized blockchain, is Bitcoins, right? So you have the Bitcoin network, it's fully decentralized. And by fully decentralized, I just mean that there's a very high barrier to co-opting the Bitcoin network. And I think the most effective way to co-opt the Bitcoin network so far is a 51% attack. If any of you know what a 51% attack is, that's where you have more than 51% of the hashing power that you can turn towards a specific blockchain and try to overwrite the previous block's transactions. So the way that attack would pan out in real terms is, say I have $1 million and I want to spend 2 million, but only having 1 million. So you're effectively creating $1 million out of thin air if you can pull off a successful 51% attack. Now, the 51% attack is not very viable, because once the network realizes that it's being attacked and there is essentially a new fork that is creating a new or a different is creating different transactions compared to the ones that were done on the previous block, which will match all of the accounts, except very few accounts will be showing that they are spending, I guess, yeah, they would be spending not twice the amount. They'd be spending the same amount, but on a different chain. And so to one person that is selling you goods, or to the one person that you've convinced to take your $1 million, you'd effectively be giving them nothing, because once the blockchain reorganizes with the longest chain, which you try to create through the 51% attack, your account would actually have the same amount of Bitcoins, and it would override the transaction that you did previously, leaving the other person with nothing and you with your $1 million again. So you'd effectively be able to spend it twice. It's complicated in the sense that there is too much too many resources that go into pulling off the attack versus how easy it is to detect, how easy it is to circumvent, or at least recognize and take remedial action. Now, we haven't seen that attack be pulled off on Bitcoin before, so I don't know what a remedial action would look like. But going back to the theme of this video, the cost of consensus, the barrier to that 51% attack is very high, and that is what the cost of consensus allows us to create, is this high value barrier that keeps attackers away from co-opting Bitcoin, which is what makes it anti-fragile, makes it resilient. These are the terms that we've heard a lot of people touting the benefits of Bitcoin use as long as it's been around. Another attack vector that seems to be the most, I guess, problematic to date is basically what Bitcoin Cash has managed to do so far. Bitcoin Cash, and I guess I'm not saying attack as in calling Bitcoin Cash nefarious. In fact, I applaud what they've done, at least those that back Bitcoin Cash, because they're creating a currency of their own. So those that back Bitcoin Cash are doing so because they believe that it is a better form of money than what Bitcoin can provide. If that's the case, then the market will speak for itself and we will see how it plays out. But as far as cost of consensus goes, if it's truly easy to move a majority of people from one network to the other, then we really are going to be at a there's going to be a lot of explaining to do as far as why we have so much energy and time and money that goes into mining when we can easily co-opt a network or move people from one network to another. But I would argue that it's very difficult to move people from one network to another as far as where they're willing to put their faith, and I think faith is too strong a word. Let's just say where people are willing to put their value into. So whatever cryptocurrency people are willing to put their value into, that is the chain or the blockchain that has the most power. According to Metcalfe's law, this is the network effect. This is saying that the network that has the most users, the most players involved, is the strongest. And part of why Bitcoin's network is the strongest is not just because it has the most users out of any cryptocurrency, but also because it has the highest hashing power. So the most miners that are behind it and securing the network. So I think that the amount of users together with the difficulty of hash rate, which is basically the aggregate value of the difficulty it is to mine on a blockchain, is what determines its cost of consensus. So this cost of consensus, it's important to realize that you can't do this on a centralized network. We'll just say a centralized network. So any centralized network doesn't require a cost of consensus. Why? Because consensus is already given by fiat to whatever users or whatever administrators the network has agreed to handle it, has agreed to allow for changes within the network, has allowed for, they are the gatekeepers that allow access onto the network. Whereas Bitcoin does not have anything like that. There is no gatekeepers. There's merely disinterested parties that don't know each other who are allowed to pay to play. And paying to play is what mining is. And so all of these things, the amount of people on the network and the cost to mine, those are all costs for consensus. And I do think that it's missing the D for decentralized consensus, but I do like the three letter acronym. It just makes it a lot cleaner, COC. But yeah, that's my thoughts on cost of consensus, what Bitcoin has achieved with a very high cost, I think effectively a low cost of consensus. So just to tie this up in a neat fashion, the cost of consensus for Bitcoin as far as how much energy and how much is required for decentralized consensus, I believe it's not too low, or rather it's not too high. I would like to see numbers to get us at an effective amount of energy that we're actually using to mine, like the entire aggregate amount of energy that's used to mine Bitcoin. I don't know what that number is. I hope we can find and agree to a number soon, so that we can actually start doing a little bit of science behind this. But I believe the entire net worth of Bitcoin is way above the amount of money that it requires to actually run the system. So that ratio of amount of resources to secure a decentralized network is what cost of consensus is. You want a lower value, you want a higher ratio of value. So you want the ratio to look like this: the value of the entire net worth of the network over the cost to actually run the network. And I would be very surprised if that denominator was higher than the numerator. I'd be very surprised if it actually costed more to run the network than it's worth. I know I've talked about this before. It's just a fascinating topic, and I don't see myself not being interested in that concept. As time goes on, I hope to expand on it for what it's worth. All right, guys, please like if you like. Please subscribe, share with a friend. Until next time, bye.